All right, let's learn about our extended five-finger scale. If you take your hand on C major, C five-finger scale, and you pump it all the way up here to where your fingers have to go around the black keys, you can kind of see where the half step is built in between these two fingers, 3 and 4. That turns out to be the same repeating pattern with all of the key signatures. You just make sure that you have a half step in between your third and fourth finger, and then the other fingers are whole steps. So C sharp major is thumb on C, whole step, half step, whole step. And they're all that same root, whole, half, whole formula. Now you're going to go up a half step each time and just make sure that these two fingers are buddies. Whole step, half step. And then I'm going to go up a half step each time. And I'm just going to make sure that I got two whole steps here, and then a half step here, and then a whole step here. Whole step, half step. This one's a little tricky. You got to get up here, and you got to get in between the keys for D sharp. Then here, we've got E major. This one's a little easier, just to grip. Start on E, skip. You're going to use these two black keys. And the half step is predictably on your fingers 3 and 4. And then you do a whole step for 5. For F major, you start on F. Make sure you got 2 whole steps. Make sure these two fingers are the half. And it works itself out. And you can use that to play and figure out songs in F major. For F sharp major, you make sure your thumb is on F sharp. You make sure that you have 2 whole steps, and then you come in for the half step in between your third and fourth finger, and then the top note is always a full step. For G major, start on G, make sure you got 2 whole steps. This one is kind of built in. G major is pretty easy. G sharp or A flat, make sure that you're starting on, we'll just call it A flat. And I'm going to make sure I have 2 whole steps and then a half, and I cap it off with a whole step. And you can play all kinds of songs in A flat major. A major, start on A, whole step, half step, and you wrap it up with a whole step. B flat, start on B flat, and I do 1, 2 whole steps and a half. And last but not least, B major. I'm going to look for the 2 whole steps ahead of time. I'm going to make sure that I've got that critical half step in between fingers 3 and 4. And I'm going to get my pinky all the way up to F sharp so that I have a whole step after that critical half step. That's all of that's all 12 of your major scales, and then you're repeating yourself. Now the last addition to this is if you can always find your 6th note a whole step up, and I just reach 1 key higher with my pinky, 1 whole step higher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your 7th note, aka leading tone, is always 1 key behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pinky reach up a full step, thumb reach down a half step, and that works for each key. Whole step up, half step down. 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 That's everything in E major. Whole step up, half step down. That's everything in F. Whole whole step up with your pinky, half step down with your thumb. That's everything you need for F sharp major. G major, whole step up, half step down. You got everything you need for G. A flat, whole step up, half step down. You got everything you need for A flat. A major, whole step up, half step down, and you've got all 7 notes of A major. B flat, whole step up, half step down, and finally B major. I'm going to reach a whole step up and a half step down, and that is how you can play all of your scales with just one hand, one fingering, and it just makes it super easy. Work on that. Let me know how it goes.